I pledge disallegiance to the Fed of the Disunited States of America and to the oligarchy for which it stands, one nation, under Obama, divisible with tyranny and injustice for all. What you just heard was what the majority of Americans vow to promote each day, shrouded in empowering vocabulary that evokes a sense of nationalism. However, throughout the course of this commentary, I will dissect this pledge line by line to provide to you an honest portrayal of the oath that you undertake each day. I pledge allegiance. Do you loyally commit yourself to the forthcoming promises, or do you blindly submit yourself to the bandwagon that is attempting to propagandize you? Is this a one-time deal, or do you mindlessly regard dogmatic precepts as the truth without logically reasoning them for yourself? I'm willing to bet that the percentile of brainwashed lemmings in our nation don't know exactly what they're pledging to. But then again, nor do they know what toxic, cancerous, ammonia-soaked GMO they're putting into their bodies at fast food restaurants like McDonald's or Subway either. Not to mention the National Defense Authorization Act signed by Nobel Peace Prize-winning drone-striking champion Barack Hussein Obama that permits the military to indefinitely detain U.S. citizens without a probable cause, basically a pretext to the imposition of martial law and possible civil war on U.S. soil. But none of that matters because if we pull the covers over our eyes far enough, we can't visualize the problem, therefore it doesn't exist. And to the republic for which it stands. Do we genuinely live in a republic, or is that the term the mainstream media uses to define our oligarchy as? If we truthfully lived in a republic, voters would actually elect our leaders, but instead the Electoral College is consumed by the corruption of greed and bribery and, therefore, can either vote red or blue, completely non-dependent on the popular vote. And yes, I limit the choices to those two parties because in the authoritarian statist nation to which we live in, objectivism and voluntarism are frowned upon ideologies. And is that republic not only standing, but rooted in the Constitution? Personally, I don't feel a society where the youth of a generation inherits the previous generation's debt is in any capacity justified by the Constitution. Especially when the U.S. Treasury considers engineering a $3 trillion coin with Obama's face, the essence of 1984 on it, when Thomas Jefferson, the spirit of 1776, is on the mere $2 bill. Completely disregarding, that is, the fact that any entity who possessed this coin would own 1/5 of the national debt. One nation under God. You know, I chuckle every time I see this phrase. Personally, I find the whole notion of religion to be paradoxical. Not to say I accept or deny the existence of a God, but I believe in objectivism, allowing truths to exist independently through human knowledge. In a nutshell, each individual may perceive their respective beliefs without church or state intervention. And in my eyes, religion further divides our nation by having such a diverse saturation of theological establishments. Likewise, each U.S. citizen under the First Constitutional Amendment has the right to freedom of religion. Consequently, if a citizen is a steadfast patriot, yet they don't believe in a God, who's to say that they're forced to champion a disbelief or otherwise they're an anarchist? Therein lies a delightful fallacy within a daily recited staple to our nation. Land of the free, home of the brave. Unless, of course, God is the government that innocently engineers drone strikes on innocent children on foreign soil. Indivisible. Really? Indivisibility? After becoming conscious of politics and government for just a few short months, I've realized that our country is more divided now than ever before, whether relating to a specific moral issue such as abortion, euthanasia, marijuana, or the discourse that arises from a school shooting. Why does our nation have such difficulty with compromise? It can probably be attributed to the materialistic culture our society endorses and the strive for instant gratification versus the spirituality of humanistic peace. Aside from religious matters, our very governing democracy is partitioned between Republicans, Democrats, liberals, independents, etc. With liberty and justice for all. If liberty were some abounding attribute manifested in our Western culture, as the pledge implies, there would be no need for political parties such as libertarians or constitutionalists striving to reach a free market system lacking coercion. And as mentioned before, we specifically lack liberty in regard to the oligarchy that runs our government, who, by the way, will violate our Second Amendment right if they ratify Biden's and Feinstein's proposed gun control legislation bill to ban all assault rifles. If you don't feel that that's an intrusion upon your right to liberty, how about millions of non-violently accused criminals taking up jail space? I don't condone the use of marijuana, but if my neighbor smokes it, I could honestly care less, so long as their decision does not intrude upon my personal liberties. The second part of the pledge promotes justice. Now, if justice were defined as tyrannical, unreasonable, unjust, and innocent killing or harassment of Americans or foreign citizens, then I'd completely conform to the bandwagon. With the arrests of prominent liberty activists such as Alex Jones and Adam Kokesh for acts of civil disobedience, it further exemplifies that our liberties and justice are incrementally becoming systematically detached from us. We are figuratively and literally moving further and further away from the spirit of 1776, and the nation must be restored before the already effective police state garners any more power through conformists and false propaganda. Thanks for watching, guys. That was my rant on the Pledge of Allegiance. I hope you enjoyed it or found it at least entertaining. Please leave a comment below stating your opinions on the pledge, and thanks for watching. See you guys soon.